Here I am. That was good. Here I am with Tracy Leonetti of Leonetti Business Services, who I've known for a whole, well, it's probably more than 10 years, actually. And
Yeah,
great to see Tracy. Hello, and thank you for joining me.
it's a pleasure to be here, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Absolute delight. Well, let's say, oh, Tracy, what does she do? She basically helps people through the administrative nightmare that can be dealing with immigration and the paperwork generally in France. I've experienced it, and I know Tracy is a real expert at these things, and she takes all the frustration out of it. Well, most of it. Anyway. First of all, though, I'd like to find out how Tracy ended up on the Riviera, if you care to share, of course.
Yeah, wow, that is a story and a half, Mike. I mean, I have now been living in France for over 30 years, but I arrived very young, of course.
Okay.
And there's always a man in the story, isn't there? My boyfriend at the time, he ex-boyfriend came and found me. I was living in Bermuda, and he asked me to come to the south of France. So I thought, why not try the south of France? Um, and so I turned up in the south of France. Of course, it was 30 years ago when the UK was not part of the freedom of movement. So the commercial side was fine, but the EU freedom movement. So I found myself in a bit of a sticky situation because I had no visa and I was just kind of living my best life. And yeah, so I decided to stay and organize my paperwork, which was complicated. Left the boyfriend, of course, but ended up falling in love with France. So I'm still here 30 years later.
Wow, that's a story and a half. So you are obviously a fluent French speaker. Would it be fair to say?
I am indeed. I mean, after 30 years, absolutely. But when I first got here, I didn't speak any French at all. I mean, I was literally schoolgirl French, où se trouve le gare, s'il vous plaît, and things like that. But yeah, I did learn very quickly because if you're going to live in a country, I think it's important to be able to communicate in the language of the country.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I make a fair effort, but it's quite difficult somewhere like Nice because so many people they hear your accent and is straight into English. They don't give you a chance, which is a shame, really.
Yeah, you have to insist. You do have to insist. You have to keep pushing back on them, and keep trying because I know for when I didn't speak French, what I did, I used to go down to the local supermarket and speak with the cashiers and at the local tobacco and always speaking with people, even though they often laughed at my very, very bad French and very, very bad accent. But you have to keep going for it.
I agree with you. So, talking about the business, what sort of do you focus on mainly? What are your main sort of, if you had a top three, what would those top three be, for example?
So So the top three obviously would be visas and residency cards. So when people are moving to France, because we have moving, living, and business in France, basically. So the top three would definitely be visas, immigration, residency cards. So for the people who are moving across, be that retirees or people who want to create a business. So visas, immigration would be the first. Then I would say healthcare comes in a lot.
Oh,
Is a key priority for our clients because usually, healthcare is a big thing from the countries they come in from, be that America, of course, or even the UK now. And then business, yeah, the business side of things, helping people create the business and manage those businesses, will be that, we'll do a business visa and then create the business behind it and manage it for them.
is that a growing thing, the business side of things?
Actually, the business side of things started. I started the Serenity Club, which is the Serenity Entrepreneur Club, 12 years ago. So it's
Oh,
been
wow.
ongoing for a long time. I don't market it or get, tell people about it a lot because it's quite generic. People who come to me for visas or business advice then come into the club and then we manage the business for them. So it's been 12 years. It's been a slowly growing part of the business. It's not the whole business, but part of it, the Entrepreneur Club for business owners. Absolutely. Yeah.
What sort of different types of people are you seeing coming? Is it just typically retirees, or is it all age groups?
You know, and that's a lovely question, an interesting one. We have all age groups. It used to be more kind of retirees and early retirees, but at LBS, I mean, literally, we've got some beautiful Americans coming across literally in a few weeks, 80 years old, and 80 years old and starting a business,
No.
not retiring. There's no age, for retiring or not. And then we have sometimes younger families coming across, when we're looking for the properties to find them somewhere to stay, getting the schooling organized. So we do have a real plethora of profiles. But it is true that we have a lot of kind of early retirees as well. So people kind of in the 50s, late 50s who want to come to France from America or from the UK is our two main countries where they're coming from. Um, but yeah, I have to say there's no real age. I mean, you have some amazing, especially the Americans, they have no age. They will come at any age. Nothing stops them. It's amazing to see. Really is.
Is a health situation more attractive to Americans here than in America? I guess it is.
I think you would possibly say yes to that. They absolutely love the healthcare system, of course, compared to the French one, compared to the American one, should I say. But even the British now as well, the British UK system has become very I mean, downtrodden. You have your opinion on that, whatever you think, but a lot of my British clients are finding the UK health system not adequate for their later years. But yeah, the Americans definitely, they love the healthcare system here. They feel very secure in the system once we get them in, that's for sure.
That's excellent. But do you find people get discouraged with the amount of bureaucracy in France, or is it just that people just aren't necessarily sincere about staying?
I think, the bureaucracy in France is renowned for being complicated. And it hasn't got any easier, over the years. I've been doing this now for, gosh, 13 years, 14 years, and it hasn't got any easier. It doesn't matter. It's not even a language barrier because there are people who speak very good French who come across and they still struggle with it. So I think people just, when they want to come across, they want to make sure it's done correctly and they don't want to have the pain and the frustration and they just want the job done. So they know about how difficult it can be, especially the Americans as well. They're extremely switched on when it comes to getting the right people to the job. And the British are getting more and more there as well. They realize now that they're outside of the EU, it's more complicated. So yeah, it's something that they reach out more and more because they know they just need to get it done.
Now, you've got something on your site called the Serenity Club. I'm intrigued by that. Can you tell me something about that?
Yeah, the Serenity Club is again, I created it 12 years ago. And Serenity because my motto is, live your best life in France, live your best life with serenity. LBS, although it's language business services, is actually live your best life with serenity. That is my motto. So
Oh,
not
yes,
many people
indeed.
know that, Mike. LBS is live your best life with serenity. And my idea with the Serenity Club was to help people from A to Z, so like a one-stop shop. So I brought the Serenity Club. Yeah, it started in 2012, and we have three levels. So of course, we already spoke about the Entrepreneur Club, so that's one level. But we also have the Prestige, which is for people who are relocating, because they come to France and they have so many needs.
Mm,
And rather than just doing this ad hoc service, I decided to create a package where we help them from A to Z for a whole year. And
wow.
that's what the Serenity Club is about. It's about accompanying people step by step through all of the problems and the paperwork and the bureaucracy that they're going to encounter. And it takes a year, Mike. It takes a year, if not more, to integrate into the system. So that was the idea behind the Serenity Club, is rather than people struggling, because they come to find a property and then it's what's next. So we basically take them through the whole steps for the first year, and that was the idea, to make their life serene.
Yeah. Well, you also have your podcast on there as well, which are very helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a great believer in getting as much content out there as possible and trying to help people. So I do podcasts, I do webinars, I do things with the radio, I do lives with the radio to answer questions to people, on any problem or paperwork question they have. So the podcasts are only small, they're literally 6 or 7 minutes, because
Hmm.
I have a very low threshold of patience. So I do very short ones that people get direct to the point and to get some information. So they're usually really good ways to start on your path. If you're looking for some information, just listen to a podcast, like I say, 6 minutes. And then of course there's the webinars that I do for free. And then people who are looking for a more kind of hand-holding and really direct service, I do consultations to really go through the whole project from A to Z before they're even in France. My ideal client, I get them before they come to France. But
How do
yeah,
they
there's
find you?
lots of stuff on my website.
How do they find you then?
How do they find me? Do you
Yeah.
know, they find me through my clients.
Word of
I
mouth.
have, yeah, I'm very, very fortunate, Mike. I'm extremely fortunate over the years. Um, Happy clients talk about you.
Yeah.
So a lot of my clients come through recommendations from existing clients, from partners, and I do a lot of webinars and events. So I get to meet a lot of people who remember me. I mean, people come and reach out to me now from, they might have met me at a show 2 or 3 years ago, and they remember me, or they'll see me on a webinar, or they've spoken to Joe Blogs down the road who mentioned Tracy Leonetti. And so, a lot of word of mouth, which is, in my opinion, the best way to get my clients.
And how do you manage your time? Because this must be exhausting for you. Good
It
question.
absolutely is, but I'm very happy to say I am not alone. I would have probably gone stark raving mad if I'd been alone over 13 years. I have a team working for me now, so we are a team of four. I have three wonderful ladies who work behind the scenes. And so, yeah, no, I do not do this alone. I could not do it alone. I do a lot of the marketing, and I do a lot of the face of LBS, so to say. I'm known, but I have an amazing team who do a wonderful job with all the clients. So I do a lot of the consultations, of course, because before I'll take a file on, especially for immigration, I need to understand all of the projects. So there's a due diligence behind it for me and for the client, of course, so they understand who they're going to work with, and do we have a good rapport, and are they going to be happy taken care of by us? So we have a proper consultation with me directly, and then of course the gals will deal with the file from an operational side. So yeah, I am not alone, thank goodness.
But you go as far as to actually go to the prefecture, for instance, with clients and things like that. So it's not just office space, it's getting out there, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Feet on the ground. Yes, feet on the ground. We always have been. It's a very authentic service. For me, it's not about stick. I mean, I do stand behind a screen, especially at COVID, but no, we're down. I mean, literally, my gals are down at the prefecture every week. I mean, Annalise was down there just the other day. So, we're at the prefecture regularly with our clients. So we do feet on the ground. And for those of our clients who are further away in France, of course, we don't just deal with the Côte d'Azur, we've got clients all over France. A lot of it is handled online in that case. But yeah, we do feet on the ground for sure. Absolutely.
Well, everybody can see you're amazingly knowledgeable and approachable. How can we get hold of you? What?
So the easiest way, of course, is to check the website out. So there's the LBS france.com website where they've got lots of information, or they can drop us an email. So Tracy, Tracy, at lbsinfrance.com. Drop an email. There's always somebody answering emails. If it's not me, one of the girls in the office will be there to answer emails and find out how we can help you. Be that, visas, healthcare, driving licenses, car registrations, citizenship, the whole shebang. We like to say it's a one-stop shop because we can do everything
Brilliant.
pretty much on a paper. And
Well,
over 14 years, we've kind of seen everything.
I know what you mean. Well, I think we've kind of come to the end of our time, Tracy. And it really, I've just got to say thank you so much for that. I've always been curious about the length and breadth of your offering, and it's amazing. And the fact that you're still smiling is just incredible. I would, I'd, it would drive me into the ground. I can assure you of that. But thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, Mike, once again.
Right. While I find the off switch, let's keep smiling. And thanks again, Tracy.